Hey guys, it's me Jake from JakeMan21642, and today I bring you a video of the newest car in my household. This is my dad's new 2011 Volkswagen Tiguan SE 4Motion with navigation and the panoramic sunroof. So yeah, like I said, this is our newest car. This is what replaced the Jetta. This actually came from the dealership I work at, Volvo of Richmond. I actually still have the video that I filmed of this when it was in our used inventory for our website. So if you guys would like to see that, let me know down in the comments down below, because I've been debating whether or not to upload it. But this will be the first walkthrough tour, whatever you want to call it, of the vehicle. Now we'll have monthly updates and all that. But basically, we just decided that the Jetta was out of warranty. It was time for it to go. My dad wanted something newer. He wanted something a little nicer, something with a warranty, yet also refused to look at anything other than a Volkswagen. And I had kind of had my eyes on this since it was traded in about a month ago. I had shown him pictures and videos of it, and more he kept asking me questions until finally I brought it home to show to him, brought it home for the weekend. And at that point, we had the vehicle by Wednesday. He absolutely fell in love with it. And really, this is such a nice vehicle, and we got a killer deal on it. I really got the hookup, which I'm so thankful for. Just more perks of working at a dealership. The deal was fantastic. And also, too, we're now paying less for this, and we paid less for this than we originally paid for the Jetta. So in the end, everything really worked out in our favor. So as you can see, this one does have a wild cherry exterior, and this is, like I said, this is an SE 4Motion with sunroof and navigation. Most people think it's an SEL because of the wheels, but as you can see on the exterior, this is just an SE. You can mainly tell by up front, especially since it's a 2011. If it was a current SE, it would have projectors, but this does just have halogen lights, which, thank God. My dad doesn't care about any of that. I don't care about any of that. And the great part about these, when a bulb burns out, I can go to AutoZone and replace it myself. But very nice, clear headlights. It does have the halogen bulbs. Down below, do have fog lights, which my dad absolutely loves, having something with fog lights, and it's really making me want to get fog lights for my car. Do have this very nice chrome accented grille up front. Excuse the fact that there's like 8 motorcycles going by at once. Around here, this one is riding on Pirelli tires. They are the Pirelli Scorpion Zeros. Yep, they are 235/50 R18s, so you do have these beautiful 18-inch alloy wheels, which are in really good shape. But the one thing I've noticed is these do kind of stick out, so I'm hoping they don't get curbed too bad, because we do park on the street. But yeah, I also just noticed these tires are nitrogen filled. That's interesting. But the tires are in pretty good shape. I'd say they have about 60% of the tread left, and they're very nice tires. Coming along the side, it does have turn signal indicators in the mirrors, do have the chrome accenting around the windows in typical Volkswagen fashion, and it does have very lightly tinted rear windows. I'd say they probably have like a 50% tint on them. I definitely would put dark tint on this if it was mine, but knowing my dad, it'll probably stay the way it is. It does have very dark tint on the back window, which I like. On the SE and above, you did get a tinted rear window. It's not like the really cheap ones that have untinted windows all around. This one does have the updated taillight design as well, which I really prefer the looks of these. Tiguan badge right there. Do have your dual exhaust tips down below. And actually, these are your reverse lights. I noticed that the other day. They're very low down in the bumper, but it is a nice design. It's very European. This is a very European vehicle. The feel of it on the road, the way it looks, everything about it is very Euro. You can see too, this one does have a trailer hitch on it, which I'm sure there's going to be someone in the comments that calls that ugly or says it's pointless, but my parents both really do like having that on there, because they've always had a dream of owning a camper or like a small camper or something along those lines, so they like having that. Not that we will probably ever get one. Over here, as you can see, this one is a 2.0T 4Motion. The 2-liter turbo out of the GTI is the only engine you can get on these in the US domestic market, but thankfully this one is a 4Motion, which my dad would not have bought it if it wasn't a 4Motion, which I kind of do agree with him on that point. I mean, even living in Virginia where we don't get a lot of snow, I wouldn't understand the point of buying an SUV if you weren't getting the 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive version. You're basically buying it for the looks. But along elsewhere on the exterior, the gas cap is on this side. It is just a push to release, and it actually will not release unless the vehicle is unlocked. But right there, push to release. And then once you take it off, you can just set the cap right there and it'll hold it. Very nice design. Up top, you do have roof rails on this one, which they are not necessarily chrome as much as they are brushed aluminum, but they look very nice. You have the antenna back there as well, and the panoramic roof. But this is a very nice vehicle to drive. These really are not that popular in the class, and I can see why, because they are very expensive. But I did buy this as a dealership employee, or the deal went through as an employee deal with my dad. And as well as Volkswagen resale was kind of on our side right now with this, but this is a very, very nice vehicle, and it's been home for not even a week, and I'm already in love with it. So we'll step inside. This one does have the updated Volkswagen key, if my camera would focus, but the older key did have the blue logo, which was larger, and this does have the smaller black logo. It is still a switchblade, and you do have your lock, unlock, trunk release, and panic, just like any other Volkswagen. This one does have the sandstone this one does have the sandstone leatherette interior. It does have a partial power driver's seat, and as you can see, typical Volkswagen leatherette, it looks brand new. And usually I'm not a fan of beige interiors, but I do like it on this one, especially since this is a vehicle with a lot of glass. This interior will not get very hot in the summer, and it's just a nice color. I also think compared to our Jetta, the black carpet and more of the black accenting and some of the brushed aluminum and chrome accenting inside really does break it up well. This one does have the all-weather floor mats, which as you can see, this one's a little dirty. I apologize the car is not spotless on video, but my dad bought this and went straight to work and has been driving it ever since, and he absolutely loves it. We've already put about 500 or 600 miles on it, but it does have the all-weather floor mats. I purchased those, and basically that's the only other thing we've done. So I'll go ahead and start it up. Just insert the key right here. Does just have a regular ignition. For 2011, I believe push to start was an SEL thing, which, again, is something else my dad does not want in a vehicle. And it starts up absolutely perfect. Go ahead. Close the door, which is very, very nice and solid. And bring that back up. Now, inside of this Tiguan, since this is a 2011, I believe this is technically the 2011.5, but it has a very nice interior, and this does have the more updated interior, which you can see by the wheel, the climate controls, the shift knob. But inside, it's very typical Volkswagen. Everything up top on the doors is nice, soft-touch material. You do have all of your controls over here, which they are all one-touch automatic on every single door. And this one has the very nice little chrome lips on all of them. You have your mirror controls up here. They are heated as well. Your brushed aluminum door handles, power locks. Down here, do have some more storage. Down there, my dad keeps some CDs and things like that down there. Do have your headlight controls over here. Pull once for fog lights. Some storage, as well as change storage down there. Gauge dimmer right here. And it is a manual tilt and telescoping steering wheel. But as I mentioned, this is the updated wheel, which is leather wrapped. And I like this so much more than the other steering wheel that you could get in the Tiguan. It looks so much better than the older one. But you do have the very nice leather stitching around here and the sport bolster grips along the side. Over here are your audio system and Bluetooth phone controls. And then most of these controls over here will either go with your navigation or with this center display in between the gauges. You can just kind of click through. You have navigation, Bluetooth phone, which my phone isn't paired to it, but I did pair my dad's phone with it, and it works perfect. You have your service, different settings, things like that. There's even a setting for snow tires, which I found interesting because nobody in Virginia has that. But this was definitely a vehicle that is rare around here to find a 4Motion Tiguan. Almost all of them on the road are front-wheel drive, and the front-wheel drive ones are such a different vehicle. I'll just leave it at that. But going else through here, you do have your range, all the things like that. I generally just leave it on the one that's the display for the radio. You have your tachometer, speedometer, that's just the parking brake light and the seatbelt warning, fuel gauge and engine temperature gauge. So you do get a full set of gauges. You at least get a temperature gauge and all that. You don't have a dummy light. more controls down along the edges, the clock set and things like that. The entire dashboard, even around the radio, all of this is nice soft touch material. And up here, it's all nice soft touch material. They don't cheap out and everything like that. It's all soft touch all the way up to the dashboard. Do have this storage compartment in the center, little card holder right here for different parking cards, things like that. Hazard controls in the center, passenger airbag on and off. Around here, as I mentioned, this one is equipped with the navigation system. We did transfer our satellite radio from the Jetta into this as well, but you can go through and control all of that. FM radio, which is absolutely awful. Media, can go through CDs, SD card, auxiliary in, MDI, and Bluetooth audio streaming. Now, for one of these, and of course there's no phone paired, so none of that's going to come up. But if you did get one of these, I believe the SEL did give you the larger screen. But honestly, my dad would probably prefer this screen because most of it can be controlled from this knob and these two buttons. It's just pretty easy to use. My parents are not techie people, so as simple as possible is good for them. But they really like the way this works. And as I mentioned, it does have navigation, can go through and all that. I actually had to change the home address because it was trying to take us to Centerville last time we did that. But you do have the map that you can bring up and everything else. And when you turn the headlights off, it will darken, just like that. But nice, simple to use. Auxiliary in right there, your mute and setup back button. Down below, you do have your single zone manual climate controls. Once again, it's my parents, nice and simple, they can use this. Fan controls, temperature over here, and your different zones right here. Also does have heated seats for the driver and passenger. Down here, more storage. You do have a compartment right here. My dad keeps his cell phone charger, as well as a power outlet. More storage down below. Some of my stuff down there. And there's another storage compartment right here under the radio. Traction control on and off. Trunk release. This one does not have the power trunk. Again, thank God. Something I don't want. That's just something to break. But it is just a trunk pop. Do have more little slots right there to hold things. And right here is the 6-speed automatic transmission. This is just a 6-speed conventional automatic with sport mode and manual shift mode. This is not a DSG transmission, which again is just something more complicated. So I'm glad we just have the regular 6-speed automatic. And you do get this very nice 4Motion badge right there, which is something I really like. That's a nice accent to the interior. Back here is the electronic parking brake and auto hold. Auto hold is actually a feature that I really like in this vehicle. I didn't think I would, but it actually works a lot smoother in this 4-year-old vehicle than a lot of newer vehicles. Do have a little storage compartment back there. Electronic parking brake, something I don't mind. I mean, it's not bad. The one thing I did read is to change the rear brake pads on this, you have to have a Volkswagen scan tool for your OBD port. That way you can release the brake pistons to change the pads. So, I don't know. I don't understand what's wrong with a regular handbrake, but I guess it is cool to have an electronic one. Over here, 2 cup holders behind this little cover. Does have the Volkswagen thingy out of the Jetta. I cleaned it up. My dad wanted to keep it in here. Back here, do have a nice padded leather armrest, which you can adjust like that. It will kind of ratchet up and down, and then you can actually slide it forwards and back, just like the Jetta. Inside of here is your media in, which you do have a straight USB port, or then the old Apple 30-pin connection. We need to get one that's an MDI cable so my dad can use his iPod in here for his iPod Touch. But there is that right there. You do have another little storage compartment next to it. Up top, you do have a manually dimming review mirror right here. Nice, simple to use. As well as interior lighting, your ambient lighting in the center, just like pretty much all Volkswagens. And right here are your panoramic sunroof controls, which this is probably what sold my dad on the vehicle, is this awesome sunroof. You can actually go ahead, open it up. You have the little wind deflector up in the front. And in typical Volkswagen fashion as well, if you hold it, it goes all the way back. And then bring it all the way forward. And right here, push up, and it will vent, bring it back down. And then you can bring the cover back, which is power. So, very nice. Like I said, this alone was probably the feature that sold my dad on the vehicle, was having the panoramic sunroof. And it's very nice, and you can kind of open it and just leave the shade wherever you want. So, that's basically everything for up front. We'll go ahead, put the automatic driver's side window down, unlock all the doors, and release the hood right here. Stepping into the back seat of this Tiguan, just go ahead and open it right here. As you can see, everything does follow through, and the higher trim levels, all the material qualities do follow through on the door, with the soft upper padded around here and your leather padded armrest. More storage down here, and you do have the speaker as well as a tweeter for your audio system, lock and unlock. This is just my jacket, which I threw back here. You have a storage compartment as well. And as you can see, like I said, the windows do have a very, very light tint on them. Up top, do have a handle. Interior lighting, I believe in models without the panoramic roof, you would just have normal lighting that would be in the center. But obviously in this one it is moved over to the side. You have some, as I mentioned, the all-weather floor mats down below, which the back ones are very dirty. My friends and I took this out on Christmas to see Star Wars, and they tracked mud in it. I don't even know how, but as I mentioned, it does have all-weather floor mats in the rear. And the back seat, I've already ridden back here twice, is very comfortable. It sits up nice and high. You have these storage compartments on the side. And the center does have an armrest, which is soft, rubberized material around here, and two cup holders in the middle. And just kind of drops down in the middle. You can also use it as a pass-through. But the back seat, I would compare the back seat to most Subarus, how they have a very comfortable rear seat. Right here, do have two air vents in the center, 12-volt outlet, as well as a storage compartment. Do get back seat pockets on both sides. And one interesting feature I noticed with this vehicle is you can actually adjust the back seat. If you pull on this bar right here, you can slide it forward and back. So I guess maybe if you had a child seat back here and you wanted to move it forward a little bit, or if you wanted more trunk space and had a smaller person, or even if these seats were further up, you could probably bump it up and still have a decent amount of room. And come around to the trunk of this one. You can see the beautiful, typical Volkswagen taillight design, which I really love on this vehicle. Trunk release, I always think it's, you push on the logo like on the Rabbit, but it's actually down here. Just lift it up. And inside of here, as you can see, this is probably the thing that would make a lot of people shopping in this segment go for something else. The Tiguan does have a rather small trunk, especially since this is pretty much the priciest vehicle in this class. But honestly, it's just three of us in my house. If we ever do go on a road trip, this is plenty of space for all of us. All of this stuff isn't staying. This is just everything that was cleaned out of the Jetta. We threw it back here. Don't even ask. Just don't even ask. Otherwise, do have all the floor mats back here. These are the original ones. I need to take them out. Do have a light up there. Another 12-volt outlet. On the sides, there's storage compartments. This one actually did come with a quart of oil already in it. I guess someone was just prepared and kept that. As well as on this side, you have your jack storage, tools, all of that. And then the spare tire is underneath of all of that, as well as this one did come with the locking lug nut key. But it definitely does have a smaller trunk. I don't think for us it will ever be an issue, but for some people it might. As I mentioned, fuel cap is on this side. Everything follows through over here. The seat does fold completely flat. Just pull right here. Well, when the headrest isn't pulled up. When you finally have the headrest down, just fold it flat, and you do have a completely flat loading floor. The bottom piece actually does go down and will slide forward. Then just go ahead and you can actually recline it, decide where you want it, and like I said, this side does slide just like the other side does. You have that little release right there. More storage on the side as well as in the door. And another thing I really like about this vehicle, it reminds me of the Passat we used to own. The bottoms of the doors are actually rubberized. When you're like us and you park on the street 90% of the time, it's nice having this in case someone curbs your door. As you can see, this one's already gone in the mud, but if someone curbs your door, they're not scratching the paint. It's actually just rubber and plastic. So you can see the SE does have a manual passenger seat, really not a big deal. I like this because instead of most Volkswagens where they have the crank to adjust the back of the seat, this just has a normal thing where you pull it and it will adjust. We have more storage on this door and the Tiguan floor mats. Inside of here you have a very generous amount of glove box space. This one did come with the owner's literature. Everything is inside of here. Does even have some service receipts, but as I mentioned, everything's included. And the receipts are for the fuel pump and water pump have both already been replaced, which are kind of weak points on the 2.0 TSI engine, so it's nice to know those have been done. Everything else is just my dad's junk that he's already put in here. It is a cooled glove box, like pretty much all Volkswagens are now. You do have these right here, which is probably where something would have been on another spec model, even for another country. I don't even know. You have this little clip, you know, hang something like a note or something there. And a place right here to keep a pin, which my dad said he never would have realized that's what that's for if I didn't put that there. And it is all nice and illuminated. You can see the interior. A lot of people always criticize how these have so many vents, but I really like the design, and so does my dad, because as he pointed out, you can have one adjusted like that, and then you can turn one the other way and aim it up or down. It's a nice design. And coming up front, as I mentioned, this one does have the halogen headlights with the fog lights down below. And up underneath the hood of this vehicle, it does have Volkswagen's 2-liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder, which so far great engine, especially with the 4Motion all-wheel drive and the automatic transmission in this vehicle. It moves fantastic. But overall, this looks like a much more easy engine to work on than the 5-cylinder that was in the Jetta. As you can see, it has an actual air box. There's probably half as much plastic up underneath of here. I can't wait to change the oil, because look at that oil filter location. That is a dream right there. But everything, even the headlights, are nice and easy to access. So I think this vehicle will be a very nice fit in the family. And even if we do have some reliability issues engine-wise, we did purchase a 4-year/48,000-mile warranty for this vehicle, so it definitely will be around for a while. Overall, though, like I said, I think this is a great vehicle in this class. If you're someone like my parents who wants a CUV, but, you know, really doesn't want a Toyota or a Honda or a Hyundai, but also doesn't really want to step up into a luxury brand like Audi or Mercedes or something like that, I think this is perfect for my parents. For someone who's going to be carrying around a lot of cargo or a lot of kids, you may want to look at other vehicles, but so far we love this. And like I said, this is just the amount of space we need. I'm an only child. It's only the 3 of us. So with that being said, I hope you guys look forward to many more videos of this vehicle on the channel. I will do a test drive video as well as many updates, things like that I can. But for now, thanks for watching, guys. Any questions, comments, anything like that, drop them down below. And as always, thanks for watching and subscribe for more.